Welcome back to Lou on 2, everybody. We're riding today to actually go and get my MT-09 serviced. I've hit 600 miles. I'm 632 miles at the moment. The Yamaha recommends a 600 mile service, which is basically an oil change and to check some stuff. Now, in the Lou on 2 videos that you've seen so far on the channel, fairly new channel, appreciate you being here by the way. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. The setup that you've seen me use is this camera here, this GoPro Hero 11. It's massive, it's heavy, and you really do feel it.
That's what she said.
And I would like now to take better corners. That was a terrible corner. And I would like now to reduce as much as I possibly can the weight and the wind resistance on the front of my face. Not only that, but this camera here has been unreliable. GoPro, I've been using GoPros for years and years and years, ever since I started my other channel, which is an aviation channel where I'm using GoPros in a hot cockpit in Florida. And I know action cameras are going to get hot and all of that, but the GoPros, in my experience, have just been, battery life has been bad and overheating and all of that. It's all come to a head, and the whole reason for this video now is because I went riding the other day with young Bob and the GoPro failed to capture it. Like it's so buggy. So this is how you put the thing together.
It's easy enough to do, but a pain if you want to change batteries mid-ride, as I was trying to explain later.
I'm back, but here's the thing. Just trying to do something quickly.
Wondering why you can't hear me properly? Just because the battery died. We'll talk about battery life in a bit. But you take your GoPro, stick it in the bulky media mod, put the mount on it, and there you have it. It's important to know that this media mod is required if you do want to connect a lav mic. You then stick it on the helmet, and welcome to hell. You've succeeded in turning a decently aerodynamic helmet into a drag-producing, wind-catching eyesore. Congrats.
So I'd like to reduce the weight and the area that is exposed to the wind on the front of my face. This is a very, very bulky thing. Look at the size of it. It's massive. If it was just the camera on its own, I think it would be a lot better, but the fact that you have to have the media mod with the jack on the back if you want to use a lav mic. I'm not sure if weight is going to be reduced, but you see all the components that you have to put together with this. This is the difference between the GoPro and the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. These are the components. The camera itself, the battery on the inside, you've got the microphone adapter, and then you've got the magnetic clip-on mount, which just goes on like that, and bing bang boom, you're ready to go. Seems a lot more compact than the GoPro with the media mod. The wind resistance should be less, in theory. Weight, I'm not so sure about.
From my calculations, with the media mod, the battery and the actual camera itself, weighs around about half a pound. Half a pound on the front of your face. That's quite heavy. Especially when you're riding, you got some decent wind. You really feel it.
Alright, yeah, enough complaining about the GoPro. I'll talk well of it shortly, but the truth is, anything you put on the front of the helmet is going to feel like this. But I wonder if the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 is any more compact and any lighter.
You can see that, I mean, width-wise, it is pretty wide with this adapter on the side. I wish that this was a little bit smaller, because that just looks honestly weird from the front, and especially with this hanging out the side. I'd be interested to see how that feels. But you can see it sits a lot higher on the helmet, which I think looks-wise, for me, I think the Insta360 looks a little bit better, but that's just me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
Well, here we are riding with the Insta360 Ace Pro 2. How does it feel? Well, first of all, how does it look? I think it looks a little bit better on the helmet than the GoPro. Initial impressions immediately, it feels comfortable. It's not dragging my head down at the moment, although obviously, you know, there's something on my chin, so I know it's there. Last time with the GoPro, I was going out getting this thing serviced. This has been serviced. I've done a couple of rides after that service. Today, my idiot self, I left the spools, left them on riding. The swing arm has vibrated so much with the majorly aggressive riding that I've been doing. One of the spools has kind of popped off, so I'm going over to Cycle Gear now in Orlando to pick another set of spools up. So yeah, good. Any excuse to go and ride. Feels good on the face, I have to tell you.
Because it's got no media mod, it makes it less bulky than the GoPro, so I can sit it higher on my chin, which actually feels like it's balanced more.
So let's talk about weight. From my calculations, camera itself with the battery and with the microphone adapter, because the microphone adapter is separate, I had to buy that separately, it's like $20 extra. It comes to around 0.4 of a pound. So it is a little bit of a savings, but it's not a massive savings in weight that you would really notice it. Now, the question is the quality better than the GoPro? So here we are back with the GoPro Hero 11, but here is the quality.
This part of the footage is color graded in post, but if I take that away for a moment, we can see it's like this.
Saying I don't actually think that I will find a camera that has as good quality as the GoPro. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised in this video. I'll put them side by side.
Neither is color graded here, so they're pretty much how they are out of the box. At first glance, I can't really tell much of a difference in picture quality between the two until we take a closer look at the still and take a look at the pickup and the SUV in the right lane. In the GoPro footage, it seems that the SUV is a little bit clearer than the pickup truck in the Insta360 footage, which is a little bit blurry. That puts the GoPro ahead of the Insta360 quality-wise, but I'm very pleasantly surprised that it's this close. I was looking for reliability and was expecting to sacrifice some image quality with the Insta360 compared to the GoPro, but it's actually a very, very minimal difference. The GoPro's field of view is a little bit wider in this video. That's a setting issue and something that can be changed. I find it interesting though that the Insta360 naturally seems more saturated and colourful than the GoPro in this non-colour graded footage. That's not a big issue either way, whatever you prefer, as there are plenty of settings to adjust on both and in post to get the colours that you want. This is them both colour graded. Changes are subtle but effective. So really, it's tough to see which comes out on top image wise, and it's going to come down to battery life and reliability.
Battery life and how much actually you get out of this thing. Like GoPro says you get this much out of it. I've seen probably a maximum battery life on the GoPros, both in the cockpit and on the bike, of about an hour and 15 minutes recording at 4K at 30 frames per second. Now on the bike, there shouldn't really be much risk of overheating because you've got airflow to it. In the cockpit, a little bit different. I have to kind of hide it from the sun a little bit, but it does the job for about an hour and 15 minutes. That's about the max you get out of it.
And that checks out, as today it ran out of battery on me as I was playing a game of count the amount of times I stop at traffic lights.
Oh, we're going to count this as the fourth. It did impede our progress.
And after getting the footage back and reviewing it, the GoPro died just under the 1 hour and 10 minute mark, which is about on par as to what I usually get, but is still less than the 88 minutes that GoPro stayed at 4K at 30 frames per second. But how will the Insta360 compare?
Yeah, still recording. Still going. I was searching around to find a reliable source as to what the actual battery life is at 4K at 30 frames per second. Runs for approximately 112 minutes, which, if that is true, that is absolutely amazing.
I let the camera run for as long as I could in all sorts of conditions, moving with airflow, stop-start traffic.
And we're in traffic. This will actually be a good test.
And even took it into cycle gear with me to let the battery run down.
Still got 62% battery. 62% battery and only 25 minutes left on the SD card. The SD card is probably going to get full before the battery goes. A good problem to have.
The next test while running the battery down was to hit the highway.
But question is, does it feel less, or is it affecting me less than the GoPro? I gotta say no. I'd say it's affecting me just about the same as the GoPro. Very windy, man, very windy. Oh my god. On a naked bike as well, where it just batters you around even more. There's absolutely zero protection from the wind.
As I was trying to stay strong through the winds, the battery was staying even stronger, and it got to a point where my SD card did actually run out of space before the battery went, and I ended up with 35% battery left after just under 1 hour and 11 minutes of recording time. Already better than the GoPro Hero 11 Black, which had already run out of battery with about a minute less of footage than this. So, to run the battery down and complete the test, I had to get a little bit creative with what I was filming. Alright, so the plan now is there's about 35%, a little bit less now that I've been recording for about a minute, and I fucked up the first part of this, but anyway, there's still some battery left, and I want to run that battery down to see how much footage we actually get out of this thing. So I'm gonna leave it running so you can watch me struggle cleaning and waxing the chain, and we'll see how much footage we actually get out of it. So let's go. And the result is pretty disappointing, to be honest. I was expecting a little bit better. They stated you get 112 minutes out of it. I only got 89 minutes, which is still better than the GoPro by about 15 minutes, but still I think I expected a little bit better. But it does have a saving grace.
Now, a really important thing to me is to be able to switch out the batteries. If I'm doing a longer ride, I know that my battery is not gonna last. Really important to me to be able to get the battery out, put the other one in, and keep riding. Now, unfortunately, with the GoPro, with the media mod, and when you have the mount on it, the case doesn't come off. The two prongs stick through the case, so when you try and take the case off, GoPro does not come out of the media mod. You have to get the GoPro out of the media mod to get to the battery. So unfortunately, if you're riding and you make a quick pit stop to make a quick battery change, it's not gonna be very quick. It's a convenience thing, right? With the Insta360, it is a heck of a lot easier. You could even leave it on the helmet to do it because the battery compartment is right there. Just boom, you got access to the battery. You don't have to take anything off it. Leave it on the helmet, switch the battery, quick pit stop, see you later.
One thing I will say about my setup, I'm not going to get rid of this GoPro Hero Max. This has always actually done really, really well for me. On the bike and in the cockpit, it's been really good. No problems with it, it's never failed.
So the final thoughts on which one of these cameras is better for me. They're both good cameras, but there's one for me that actually stands out as better than the other one. However, let's go through it. So as far as weight is concerned, very, very even. You've got probably 0.1 of a pound heavier with the GoPro and the media mod. If the GoPro was on its own, it would absolutely be lighter than the Insta360. So that's something to consider. If you don't need a microphone, you can shove the GoPro on the front of it and have the lighter weight. As far as area, if you're going to use the media mod, it's quite easy to see that the Insta360 takes that. Ease of getting to the battery goes to the Insta360. Easy quick change, not so easy quick change with the GoPro Hero 11 Black with the media mod. Recording wise, which one's better? That's up to you, really. You can edit the colors in post, so it's not really a massive deal. Quality wise though, I think it goes to the GoPro. That is to be expected. The GoPro, they know what they're doing as far as picture quality is concerned. So really, it all comes down to reliability and battery life. The GoPro loses that. 1 minute and 10 seconds of footage, just under that actually. The Insta360 recorded for longer. For me, just for reliability alone, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 comes out on top of the GoPro Hero 11 Black. Not to say that this is a bad camera, it's just got some quirks and is a little bit buggy at times. This one here is the winner. This is what is going to continue to record the footage on the front of my helmet. And before I go, let me know which camera you think is the best in the comments below. There we go. Well done, Insta360. You've knocked out the giant of GoPro. Congratulations, whatever that means from a channel with 600 and whatever subscribers. If you've enjoyed this little review, this little ride, please leave the video a like, and also it would mean a massive amount to me if you were to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow as quickly as I can, get to 1,000 subscribers as quickly as I can. So get yourself subscribed, you'll see more cool moto vlogs with some cool footage from the Insta360. Thanks for joining me, I'll see you next time. Ride safe.